So the final event of 2024 is now upon us. It's UFC Tampa. Joaquin Buckley is taking on Colby Covington. We're going to break it down. So in my opinion, this is a high-risk fight for both of these guys because they are on different career trajectories, but their goal is still the same. They both want to get to the title. Colby Covington, of course, we haven't seen him in over a year. His last fight was against Leon Edwards, and it was a really shit performance, if we're being honest. Colby looked terrible in that fight. He looked old, and he looked washed. So he has to come with a very different approach if he's going to get his hand raised on Saturday night. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Joaquin Buckley, who's put together a nice win streak at welterweight. He's undefeated in this division, and he's on a 5-fight win streak. Some of those most notable wins are against Ruziboyev and most recently Wonderboy Thompson, which was honestly the big one for me because you don't see a lot of people do to Wonderboy what Joaquin did. He was able to trap him, close him off, and eventually just shut his lights off, and it was really impressive, and Joaquin's looked really impressive at welterweight so far. But this is definitely going to be his toughest test yet. I mean, don't get it wrong, Colby Covington, whatever you think about him, however good you think he is still a very good fighter, and he's been at the top of the welterweight division for years. Yes, some of his opponents haven't been great, and yes, some of his performances haven't been great, but the guy is still a very elite wrestler and has a great gas tank as well, which are going to be two big issues for a guy like Joaquin Buckley, who's never had a fight of this magnitude in a main event for 5 rounds. This is where Colby has a major advantage because he's been in multiple 5-round fights before, and he's going to know how to control his tempo and control the pace of the fight, especially against a guy who's not used to it. In terms of skill though, these two are actually pretty different, to be honest. You have Colby, like I mentioned, who's a wrestler, focuses on cardio and taking you to the ground and drowning you. That's usually his game plan, and his stand-up is okay, I guess. I mean, it can hang with people, but he doesn't have any power in his fists. Then you look at Joaquin Buckley, also a guy who knows how to wrestle. He's a big frame, big, powerful dude, and he hits like a truck. So it's going to be a battle of grappling and striking, I think. Like, yes, Joaquin will be okay if he has to go to the ground with Colby because he's used to that, has some of that background, but I think ideally he's going to want to keep this one on the feet because he knows Colby's striking isn't the greatest, and yeah, it may be able to hold off Joaquin for a bit, but if Joaquin's able to actually crack him, he could definitely try and pick up a finish over Colby. And in the wrestling exchanges, I'm still going to have to favor Colby Covington. I mean, I feel like you'd be kind of dumb not to do so. Yes, I understand Colby's getting older, but it's not like Joaquin is some insane wrestler that we haven't seen before. No, I mean, Colby, he's fought much more talented wrestlers than Joaquin Buckley and found success. He knows how to control people. He knows how to control the tempo. And I think if he gets his hands on Joaquin more than once, his confidence is only going to rise as the fight goes on, and he's going to be able to do it more so as it goes on as well. I do worry for Colby though because of what we saw last time against Leon Edwards. Like, that was one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time. And yes, Leon is very, very good, and he came in with a perfect game plan for Colby. But if you're doing that in a fight of that magnitude, you've taken another year off, which is just wild considering how much this dude actually fights, and you're coming in against a young, hungry guy like Joaquin Buckley, who's on a bit of a tear, has a bit of confidence, has built up some momentum, and is honestly a fight or two away from the title. It's a bad recipe, especially for a guy like Colby who does not fight often at all. This isn't a great fight for Colby at all because of the skills that Joaquin has, but also because of what he has to lose. If he actually goes out there and loses against Joaquin, he might as well just retire, honestly. Like, there's not much left for him in this division. He's already said he doesn't care about fighting in other divisions, and if you lose to Buckley, how much further does that put you away from the title? I mean, I'd have to imagine you'd still be 2, maybe even 3 fights out of a title picture. We'll just say 2 because of his name, but either way, is Colby Covington, is he going to want to go out there and try and fight 2 more contenders and go back at the title? I don't think so. And this is still a major risk for Joaquin too, because you go and lose this fight, you're at the back of the line once again in the welterweight picture. And considering how often these guys at the top of welterweight actually fight, like Kamaru Usman, Leon, Shavkat, like, these guys just don't fight. They fight once a year. So, like, it's going to be very tough to get back into that title picture in the near future if you were to lose this fight. This is a really tough fight to predict because it's just 2 very different guys who are both very good and I think evenly matched in a lot of areas. I mean, of course, with Joaquin, you favor the power, but then with the cardio and the wrestling overall, I'd probably favor Colby. Who do I think is going to be more successful at what they want to do? Honestly, I think it might be Colby Covington. I think a lot of people are counting out Colby in this matchup, probably because of what they saw against Leon Edwards and the tear that Joaquin Buckley has gone on. But I don't know if Colby's done yet. I don't think this is the fight that is going to end his career and move him away from the sport. I think this is a very winnable fight for Colby Covington, and I think with his cardio and with his wrestling, I think he can control this fight. Yes, if he gets caught, it's going to be bad, but I think Colby will be able to do enough to keep Joaquin away and honestly control the fight. I'm going to be taking Colby Covington to win this fight via decision. I think that he will make it boring. This isn't going to be a barn burner or anything, but I think Colby, he'll do what he needs to do to get it done and get back in the title conversation, pursuing other big fights. So there you have it. That's what I think of this UFC Tampa main event. Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comments down below. This is a really tough fight to predict, honestly. You could go either way. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Be on the lookout for more videos in 2025. I mean, this has been a great year for the UFC and for this channel. So if you like what you see here, stick around, and we're going to be doing much more of this in 2025. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.